Introducing, hosting from the Portuguese section of Massachusetts, representing those that choose to soothe, representing for all his boys mocks cause they can't see colors. The man, the king, the motherfucking god of this pod, Matt Souza.
Hosting from the taint of America, representing that fuck, marry, kill game, representing for all the dudes in the group chat, Central Time, representing the motherfucking Late Club, it's Gen DK.
Introducing, hosting from the Portuguese section of Massachusetts, representing those that choose to soothe, representing for all his boys mocks because they can't see color.
Gcdub listeners and viewers, we are back with another episode of this wonderful podcast showcasing a game-changing promotion called GCW. Hi, Maddie.
Hello, Jenny. How are you, first of all?
Well, I couldn't hear anything that was going on during our intro, so I hope that that sounded okay for everybody else. Also, my voice is suffering tonight, as you can tell. Just one of the casualties of my recent live experience in Detroit.
Because of this, I will be taking over duties of reading everything so that Jenny doesn't blow her damn voice out because we don't want that.
Again. This is what having a good co-host means, that you can scream your balls off and lose your voice 3 days before the show, and they can do all the work for you. I appreciate that, Matt.
Of course, anytime. Why I'm there.
All right. So I guess we'll just cruise right into it, huh? What do we have for results?
So we got to go all the way back to July 14th because we haven't talked since then, and this feels like a long damn time ago. And perfectly honest, there's not much I remember about this show, but I'll do my damn best. Now and forever from New York City, we had a 5-man scramble as Charles Mason defeated Alec Price, Braden Toon, Cole Radrick, and Marcus Mathers. Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander defeated Bussy. Gringo Loco defeated Arez and Commander. Mance Warner beat George South. The East-West Express defeated Amazing Red and Brian XL for the tag titles. Maki Ito defeated Billy Starks. Mike Bailey defeated Yoshihiko, the blow-up doll, of course. Grim Reaper, Homicide, and Matt Tremont defeated Jimmy Lloyd and Los Macizos. Blake Christian successfully defended the GCW World title against Mao. And Utami Hayashishida, that's a joke for about 10 people. Utami Hayashishida defeated Lufisto in the main event. So did you get a chance to watch this one? I know it was a month ago, so who can say? But
I didn't because I had company that weekend. I had I had some people. But I did want to go back and watch it for Matt Cardona, especially and Steph fighting Bussy. I definitely will need to see that. I kind of want to see Mike Bailey and the blow up doll as well.
You should probably, knowing you should probably watch that.
I think so too.
Dare I say it was better than Cole Radrick versus the blow up doll.
Now look, I love that match. So that's
I know you do. Unfortunately, it was a very very deflating loss for the blow up doll, though.
Wah, wah, wah.
You see, because you fill the blow up doll with hot air. You see. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
We go to
Well,
Japan.
wait, I had another question about this
Oh,
one.
go on.
Amazing Red, how was he? Do you
He was
recall?
pretty good. He
Okay.
looked really good in that match. But and I think I've mentioned this before about the New York City shows. They feel very I'm trying to think of the right way to word this, but
Sanitary?
well, yeah, kind of because of the New
Mhm,
York State Athletic Commission. But you know how ECW is on pay-per-view?
mhm,
It's kind of like that to me when
mm,
GCW runs New York City. It's very
mm,
like kind of what like there was only one match on this show, if I remember right, that had like a door in it, and like
right, yeah.
fucking Hartford of all places, the show I went to in Hartford had a more violent show than New York
Mhm,
City, which is a thing that should not happen. But I don't know,
I would agree.
it feels like I guess un-GCW. Like it was still a good show, don't get me wrong, but like the GCW I want like that dinginess, and we've talked about this
Mhm,
before, the
mhm,
dinginess, the violence, and I get what they do with these New York City shows, like they load them up with talent so that
mhm.
you kind of almost forget that it's not as violent, but it's still not as violent. But that could be an us problem, so who knows? But
Yeah, we do have a lot of issues.
uh,
That's a loaded card too,
yeah,
tons of people on that show.
it was a good show, and
Mhm.
again, Speedball doing his thing against a fucking blow up doll was fucking impressive. So definitely give that a watch if you have not. So from there, we go to July 18th, New Face of War in Japan, where we had a couple of shows from Japan. We had Gringo Loco defeat Dragon Libre, Jimmy Lloyd, Kikutaro, Minoru Fujita, and Teriyaki. We had a death match as Shane Mercer defeated Daisuke Masaka. I get to speak Japanese. I'm very excited.
Yeah, you do.
John Wayne Murdoch and Los Macisos defeated Mammoth Sasaki, Tomoya Harada, and Turu Segura. I think we've seen them before. We had a tag team death match as Masha Slamovich and Rina Yamashita defeated Charlie Evans and Sawyer Wreck. Blake Christian defeated Shigeru Irie to defend the world title. And in the main event of this show, it was Masashi Takeda versus defeating Joey Janela. So, admittedly, I only skimmed through this. I did not have a chance or time to watch the entire thing. Same goes for the next Japan show. But what I saw looked pretty interesting. It's just different to see. It's cool to see GCW in like a different environment in front of like
Mhm.
200 people in what looks like it's a fucking warehouse in Japan. It's kind of a cool visual to see.
Yeah, I didn't get to see any of the Japanese stuff either, but it definitely is cool to see them mixing it up,
Hmm.
especially, you know, given the history of death matches in Japan.
Right. The one there was a GIF making the rounds. There were a lot of GIFs making the rounds from these shows. From the Takeda Janela main event, I want to say it was like a 20-foot ladder in the ring, and I forgot
Oh,
who hit the move on who, but it was a superplex off the ladder into light tubes.
fucking
So
hell.
yeah, so that was pretty rough. That was the one match I did see, and it was very good, but I don't remember who hit the move on who. So I'm a bad host, is what I'm saying. We move on
How
to.
dare you not know things?
I don't know anything, Jenny. We know this. Uh,
You're right.
we we move on to the next day, July 19th, Planet Death, still from Japan. Shane Mercer defeated Shigehiro Irie. Blake Christian, Gringo Loco, and Joey Janela defeated Takashi Sasaki, Tomoya Harada, and Turu Segura. Charlie Evans, Rina Yamashita, and Sawyer Wreck beat Daisuke Masaka, Yankee 2 Kenju, which is a team of Asami Kodaka and Yuko Miyamoto. I'm butchering all these fucking names.
You're doing well. Do it.
Masashi Takeda defeated Masha Slamovich. We had a 6-man tag team death matches. Jimmy Lloyd and Los Macisos defeated ERE, which was Takayuki Yuki, Toshiyuki Sakuda, and Valento Jack. I know I got that one right. And then in the main event was a death match. This is really why you wanted me to read it, wasn't it?
Oh,
In the main event, it was Jun
we're saving
Sakai.
my voice, Maddie. We're
It
saving my
was
voice.
the main event. It was Jun Sakai beating John Wayne Murdoch. So I'm not one who gets grossed out by a lot of things. We know this about me. I'm really not.
Mhm.
I'm not one who's afraid of needles or syringes. I'm not that guy. I get blood drawn fairly frequently, and I'm fine with it. There was a spot in the 6-man tag team death match where Cyclope took syringes to the eyelids.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was, but it freaked me the fuck out. I think it was the fact that they were dangling. It was a whole thing.
Oh.
That GIF also made the rounds. You could find it, but boy, it was
Like
something.
through the eyelids?
That's what it looked like. Yeah, like he had syringes hanging. It looked like he had syringes hanging from his eyeballs.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
It was a lot. Let me tell you. When you see that at about 1 a.m. when you've had a few too many, let me tell you that'll have an effect on you. But
we found your limit. Okay, weird.
Turns out syringes and eyeballs is a bit much. Who knew? And then we go to Detroit, the show you were at. My Name Is. This was August 4th. This is actually the last show, so pretty slim month as far as results go. But we have a 6-way scramble. Jordan Oliver defeated Adrian Alanis, Caleb Conley, Jimmy Lloyd, Rico Gonzalez, and Shane Mercer. Masha Slamovich defeated Alec Price. Violence is Forever of Dominic Guarini and Kevin Koo defeated Los Macizos. Commander beat Joey Janela. Sawyer Wreck beat Paro. The Rejects beat the Second Gear Crew in a death match. In another death match, it was Cole Radrick beating Crazy King. Bussy beat Bang and Matthews, formerly known as Bang Brothers, but had to change their name due to a cease and desist from that Bang Brothers. And then the main event, it was Blake Christian successfully defending the world title against Mike Bailey. Jenny, I'm going to lay out for this one since I know you've been dying to talk about this. So the floor is yours.
All right. Well, yesterday I did a tweet thread on the Gcw Twitter account to kind of give some visuals to some of this. It was my intention to also do it for here on the show, and then I did not do that. So you can look at the Twitter thread if you want to see some of these pictures, because we were front row, and there were like 9 of us. So like being on the front row at your favorite wrestling promotion with like 9 of your best friends, like really awesome. Number one. We're at Harpo's Theater, which is really cool, like really perfectly GCW venue. There was a lot of space in there. There was a great bar, but it was 1,000,000 degrees in there. There was fans, and that was it. Like some fans. So you just have to accept that you're going to be sweating your balls off through this whole thing. You're like, whatever. I went into some sort of, I don't know. I had some sort of out of body experience at this show, maybe due to heat, but or maybe due to vodka and Red Bull. But
little of A, little of B.
But I want to say that it was my love of GCW that made me so transcendent in this area, because this is the best live experience I've ever had at wrestling, and I love this so much. I love this whole show. The 6-man scramble was really good. Non-stop action. Jordan Oliver was awesome, of course. One of the guys, it might have been Adrian Alanis. One of them, anyway, I went, because I was right at the corner, right when the guys come out, right? So finally I had that good spot where the wrestlers don't turn the other way.
Right.
So I got some fist bumps. I got a bunch of stuff. Anyway, he comes up and he fakes me out, right? For the hand slap, the whatever, the fist bump. And then I had to boo him for the whole rest of the damn show. So anyway, Masha was awesome. She up front, like up close with her, she's just so feral. Like she just non-stop, no fear, and so impactful, everything that she does. So fun to watch up close. Fucking Commander and Joey Janela. That was so amazing. The dude on the front row across from us, got
Died.
smashed. Yeah, he got smashed. His glasses smashed into his face and all cut up. We saw that guy later at the Tigers game. Like, isn't that the guy that got hit in the face last night? What a fun fucking match. They were right in front of me a lot of the times. Just flipping all over the place. Commander was so awesome. Joey just keeping up with them for a good amount of the match. But Sawyerek and Pero was like when I went into like another level, I think. Pero stepped on my toe, right? I'm wearing flip-flops to GCW because, of course, I am.
As you do.
And so he steps on my toe. It starts bleeding. I was so fucking happy. I was like, oh my God, I got him. I was just like freaking out. At got my first injury, GCW, not COVID related,
right? Yeah.
Injury. So that was super fun, and then it was just so bloody, right? And Pero was like practically in my lap at one point there. I think that was the one where he asked for a chair, and Justin, one of the guys, just hands him one of my chairs, and it had my name on it. And so I was like, yes, and it got blood all over it. And that was awesome. That match was so sick. Sawyer is she's so maniacal, like relentless. She don't give a fuck. In one of the pictures, she's flipping him off. But she just keeps going, man. She just keeps fighting. And she's toe to toe with him every step of the match. So great. Tag team match. That one was bloody.
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't get many photos from that. I think it was just because it was so much. Like,
I was gonna say, too busy watching the panes of glass broken and shit.
Yes, it was just I mean, you could just feel like the spray of the glass on you. I had glass in my hair. Okay, then you get to Cole Roderick and Crazy King, and this is when I start really losing it because they did light tubes, and it's just like it was right there. It was like I could feel the spray of the light tubes as well, and that was probably the best thing ever. Just so bloody, brutal match. And then Bussy. They do what they do. Another fantastic tag team match. But really the main event was like just really delightful. Like, what can I say? I'm a Blake Christian mark. We all know this. But Mike Bailey really just he just gave him a hell of a match. They worked it the most opposite of what the rest of the night, right?
Right,
Just a really hard-hitting and great match with a fantastic finish. I cannot say. I mean, it's just it was overwhelming. It really was. I got to go and meet Cole after his match. I gave him a hug, got a selfie. That was awesome. And I couldn't have had a better time. It was like the best thing ever, honestly.
I mean, look, the bottom line, we've both talked about live experiences on this show before. I mean, even if you're a minor fan of GCW, you got to go.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like it in wrestling right now in this country. And I can't speak for other countries, obviously, but in this country, there's really nothing like it right now.
It's just, I don't know. It's that part, like, as much as I love the E and stuff like that, I'm such a mark for that stuff. And went to SummerSlam, also loved that. It's just different. It's just such it's more of that, like, gritty stuff that I want to feel in my wrestling.
There's a grittiness to it. There's like it's more intimate because you're right there.
Yeah, just
like, even if you're sitting like last row in standing room, you're still close,
Right.
So and you're in these dingy fucking buildings with no air conditioning. And look, let's be real, that brings something out of you when you're dying of fucking heat stroke,
I think it does. One of our friends who was with us, Sean, was like, "I've never seen Jenny more alive." And I was like, you just, and I've never felt more alive. I don't think like,
Yeah.
or it's been a long time. Like,
Mm,
and I just said like such glowing things about Huntsville, a couple
right.
months ago,
Right.
and that was I loved that show so much too. But that was just not this. Like this was just
Right.
a whole different level.
And
Um,
this was a really stacked show too
oh my god.
because it was SummerSlam weekend. Like everybody was there. We didn't even mention fucking Nick Gage and Jeff Hardy
Oh my god.
at the end of the show.
Uh, that was sick. We're all over the show. Like if you watch
Oh yeah.
back
Yeah.
on Fight, you'll definitely see me um, and hear me. Apparently, because it was very very loud. It's me screaming for Blake Christian through that entire main event.
Yep.
Um,
I
I
feel like
can't help it. I can't help it.
it I mean, besides Tournament of Survival too, like
Yeah, yeah, that was
it
great.
feels like it had been a while since you got a show that was that violent.
Mm,
It was like every match except for the main event, for the most part, had something in it. And I mean, again, not including Tournament of Survival, that's
mm,
the gimmick of that show. But I mean, you had what, like 3, 4 death matches on that, like real death matches on that show.
mhm,
So I
mhm.
mean, I feel like Detroit is every time they go to Detroit, they get a violent show for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's just kind of how it is.
It might be that building. I don't know if they always run that building, but
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah,
there's some kind of energy there.
yeah.
Um, but okay, let's see. See if I can hear it.
I'm an outlaw, quick on the draw, something you never seen before.
No, I cannot. So anyway, that that means that we're gonna talk about our match picks for the month. What
Mm,
was your favorite match?
uh, I really like Speedball and the Blow Up Doll. I'm just gonna say it. It was. Listen, I know you didn't see it, but
Yep.
trust me, watch it. You will feel. Spoilers. The
Okay.
Blow Up Doll bleeds.
Wait, what?
You heard me.
Oh
I'm gonna leave it at that.
man,
I'm gonna
I
leave it
do
at that.
gotta watch that.
Yeah. Yes, you do. I mean, it's a long match. It's like 25 minutes, but it's something. I'm telling you. I,
Speedball goes 25 minutes with a blow up doll.
yeah, and this was
Jesus Christ!
yeah. I
Is
know.
that what I said? How did I miss that?
I'm telling. I saw.
23, 23,
Yeah.
28. Fucking hell.
Listen, trust me, you will like it.
I do trust you. Wow.
But I mean, that one, in all honesty, is up there for me. I really liked it. It was just super impressive to see Speedball do this thing with a fucking inanimate object, allegedly. But
Yeah, I mean, I, I was really taken the
right,
last match I saw. It was
it's
incredible.
it's something. And I mean, look, I'm a second gear crew mark, so anything Mance Warner does, I'm going to be a
Mhm.
fan of. So that match in
Mhm.
Detroit was just something with the pounds and pounds of glass that were used in that match was
So
something.
much glass.
And like you said, the main event of that show was really good. That Speedball fella, turns out he's very good at the wrestling, as it turns out. And
He's all
Blake
right.
Blake Christian fucking brought it too, as he often does. So I mean, I enjoyed that match too. I'm probably gonna lean Speedball versus Yoshihiko just because. And look, I was drinking during that show. Full
Mhm.
disclosure. So maybe if I watch it now, it'll be different. But I'm not gonna watch it again because leave the memories alone. So I
I agree. I agree.
I fuck it. I'm going with the match with the blow up doll.
I love that pick. This one's tough though. Um, man, But I got to go with Sawyer Wreck and
Mhm.
Pero because I bled during that match. So,
Good of a reason as any, I guess.
I mean, they bled a little bit more than I did, but
Probably, yeah.
I still have a tiny, tiny mark on my toes that I'm very proud of. So, but yeah, like just he's such a big dude, right?
He's a
And
monster.
but she just doesn't care. She's just as brutal as he is. She's even creepier than he is.
Mhm.
And he choked her with the chain hanging over the side of the ropes, like right in front of me.
Mhm.
Um, they went through tables. They had chair spots. Don't think they did skewers on that one though.
I don't think so.
I
I
think
can't
the
remember.
Mance match had the
Yeah.
skewers in it through the hand. Um, but yeah, they tore it down, and I just think I think Sawyer needs I think she needs a belt. I think she needs to win
Yeah.
championship. Like she's a champ.
Mhm. Oh yeah, you could, and the crowd loves her too. I mean, she's super popular.
She's so over.
Yeah.
She needs merch. Like
Yeah,
I need.
she doesn't have that much, if any.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Sawyer Wreck T-shirt
Yeah.
or anything. Um, but yeah, like I think she's amazing, and I don't know that she and Blake have had a match because he's.
If not since we've been doing this show, I don't
Yeah,
think.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
The thing about Paro too is like obviously he's a monster. He's one of those guys. He looks big on TV, and then you see him in front of you. It's like, oh, this dude is he's a fucking refrigerator.
Yeah, he's huge.
He's massive.
But yeah, and they have tons of chemistry together too.
Yeah.
They just really did it. But yeah, the main event was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They traveled all of. There was like a stage that they went off of.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Honestly, there's like 5 or 6 matches on that show you realistically could have picked up because like those last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 matches on that show were all really good. I mean,
back to back killers.
Yeah, just nonstop. They went all out for SummerSlam weekend, that's for sure, and for Eminem because his name was on the show.
That's true.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to have a concert thereafter, but it was just Jeff Hardy. So
yeah, that's a bit of a downgrade, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't stay for it.
Oh, weird. You should have reported back.
And it was like, you can't go out after because we were all like soaking wet.
Oh yeah,
like,
right.
We're like all disgusting.
Right.
There's no way you're like, yeah, we'll go to the bar. No.
No.
Like I'm going to a shower.
Right.
It was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But like in the best way. Like I didn't even give a shit. I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It was ugh.
I am rank and I love it.
Yeah, like I earned all this. Like I sweated and just literally blood, sweat, tears, and a little bit of pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, What else? What else can you do?
Yeah. I feel like pee is probably the least of the problems in that building. It's probably not the first person to pee on that floor.
Nor the last.
Right.
Alrighty, let's see if we can finish the summer strong and and get hardcore in different countries.
Right. Boy, there's a lot of shows coming up here. We have the rest of August here, and even until I think Labor Day weekend. I think September 1st and 2nd is Labor Day weekend. Someone will correct me. I could look it up, but I don't care. No Signal in the Hills, August 11th, coming up this Friday as we're recording this, from the Ukrainian Cultural Center in LA. We have Maki Ito versus Ali Catch versus Steph Delander versus Masha Slamovich. That's a loaded match
Wow.
right there. Good Lord. We have Lil Cholo and Los Macisos versus Unguided 2.0, which is Bodie Young Prodigy, Damian Drake, and Matt Vandegrift. We have one of the matches I'm most looking forward to coming up: Gringo Loco versus Mance Warner. Jack, I believe Leo Rush was supposed to be in that match, and he's hurt, so Mance is taking his place. But honestly, for me, this is the better match, so I'm really looking forward to that. Jack Cartwheel will face Leon Slater. Nick Gage will face Johnny Game Changer, Nitro, Mundo, Impact, that guy. Joey Janela and Sawyer Wreck will face John Wade Murdoch and Reed Bentley.
Yeah.
Effie will face Jacob Fatu, and Blake Christian defends the world title against Chris Bay. So that is a loaded show, and that is coming up this Friday as we're recording this. I think for the East Coast folks, it's going to be a late night because I think it starts at like 11 or maybe even midnight my time. So I will probably be watching it on Saturday. So.
Who's Chris Bay? Do we know who that is?
He's in the Bullet Club. I think he's done some GCW stuff before, but this is certainly like his biggest spotlight he's had, wrestling for the world title. But yeah, he's a super talented guy. He wrestles for Impact. I think he's an Impact guy full time. I think he and Ace Austin, I think, are tag champs right now. Or Logan, if you're listening, you'll correct me. But I think, but yeah, it's a big spot for him for sure. So that is a loaded show.
I don't know that I'll get to see it this weekend, but hopefully can catch up with it. But I want to see that women's match and the tag with Joey and Sawyer.
So then 2 days later on Sunday, we go to Mexico for Lucha de Explosivos. Now I get to speak Spanish. We have Joey Janela versus Psychosis, which should be great. Gringo Loco versus Baby Extreme. A lot of extreme here. Extreme Tiger versus Cole Radrick, and then Damien 666 and Los Macisos versus Joe Leader, John Wade Murdoch, and Reed Bentley in an exploding death match.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, hence the Explosivos in the title. So yeah, someone may die in that match, which I mean, depending on your point of view, may be a good thing or a bad thing, but. So that is on Sunday. Then a week later, we have another weekend as they go to Atlantic City for 2 shows. Homecoming night 1, we have Alec Price versus Leon Slater, Gringo Loco, Arez, Commander, Vikingo, Alex Zane, and Ninja Mac in a scramble. Ooh. Good Lord. Crazy King and Los Macisos versus Thrussie, which is Ali Catch, Dark Sheik, and Effie. Joey Janela and Sawyer Wreck versus Charles Mason and Paro in a double dog collar match.
Yes.
We have the long-awaited mixed tag here as Cardona and Steph Delander versus Maki Death Kill of Maki Ito and Nick Gage. That's finally happening on the 19th.
Can't wait.
And then we have Rina returning as she will defend the Ultraviolent title against Takashi Sasaki. And I believe he was the one who he was part of the crew that took out Rina after she won Tournament of Survival, if I remember correctly. So that's night 1. And then on night 2, the next day on the 20th, we have Dragon Kid versus Commander, Maki Ito versus Becca. The East-West Express defend the tag titles against Sasaki and Harada. Dante Leone and Ninja Mac will face Alec Price and Cole Radrick. And in the main event, the rematch, Blake Christian defending the title against Masha Slamovich. So,
nice.
Goddamn,
those are good, man.
All those shows are loaded. My God.
So I guess we're keeping the tag titles on East-West here for a minute.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah.
I mean, back at the Hartford show, Nick Wayne had a promo and he said he's not going anywhere. So I mean, it seems like that wasn't a lie, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So
I guess I'm surprised. I didn't think it would really last long, but
no, and I mean, look, he could very easily lose the tag titles at some point soon, but
right.
it's good that he's
Yeah, I don't know.
still here for the time being. So then, so we've been to LA, we've been to Mexico, we've been to Atlantic City. Now we're going to Australia.
Yeah, we are.
For 3 shows. My God, these poor jet-lagged people. Charlie Evans will face Maki Ito. This is, I should probably mention the show. It's GCW versus ROW Night 1. This is on August 25th. Charlie Evans will face Maki Ito. Robbie Eagles versus Lockie Hendricks versus Everett Connors. Aisha will defend the ROW Women's title against Steph DeLander and Lena Cross. Bussy of Alley Catch and Effie will face PPK, which is Frankie B and Nikki Van Blair. And then Gringo Loco will face Vikingo on that show. So I'm assuming that's going to be the main event. So then
Have
on
you ever seen any ROW?
I've never heard of ROW.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you what it stands for.
Okay.
Ring of Wrestling. I don't know. So then we go the next day, August 26th, still from Australia. Night 2, Lockie Hendricks versus Effie. Joey Janela and JXT versus, I love this team name, the Bastard Brothers of Gore and Crackerjack.
Nice. Crackerjack with a K.
Right, and Jack without a C.
Jack.
There's a lot to unpack there. Aisha will defend the ROW Women's title, assuming she's still champion, against Maki Ito. And Vikingo will take on Eman Osman. I'm assuming that's how you say that name. And then night 3, I believe this is, the final show in Australia. Joey Janela will face Outback Adam. Gringo Loco will
name.
Yeah, really. I mean, he's in Australia, so they could you probably don't have to call him Outback Adam if he's in Australia. He just call him Adam.
I like his little Outback name. I hope he has like an Outback gimmick. I want to see that.
Right. He has like a knife in his mouth and that's not a knife. We have Gringo Loco versus Tim Hayden, Maki Ito versus Ali Catch, and Vikingo versus Mitch Ryder. So that wraps up August, but on September 1st, we have another weekend of GCW, as I believe this is part of the AEW weekend, All Out, All In, one of those. It's either in or out, I have no idea. But this is Say You Will from Hoffman States, Illinois, and as a 90s, 2000s WCW mark, this match makes me very happy. Joey Janela versus Lash LaRue, which
Yeehaw! That's going to be great.
I am very excited for that. Masha Slamovich and Rena versus Los Macizos. Nick Gage versus Vikingo. That could be something. And
wait, what?
Yeah, no. That is a match that's happening. Nick, he's on this. We have one more match. Let me read that off.
I'm sorry. That's out.
And then Blake Christian will defend the world title against Francesco Akira. I believe he's a New Japan guy. But more importantly, Nick Gage is facing Vikingo, and I need to know what that looks like.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for that.
They're doing this thing with Gage where it's like they're giving him like all these, I don't want to say freak show matches, but it's like matches you didn't know you wanted until you see it's announced on paper. Like he faced Mike Bailey, I think, earlier this year. He faced Leo Rush. He's faced Zack Sabre Jr., Psycho Clown. So
I love it.
It's wild.
I love it.
Like, and I'm assuming Vikingo is going to bump around like a madman for him, right?
Right.
So I'm here for it.
Me too. I think he'll bump around for Vikingo too.
Yeah. So that should be something. And then we have the return. This is the last show we're going to preview here of Effie's Big Gay Brunch. This is the next day on the 2nd. I'm assuming sometime around noon because that is the brunch hour. Is that what they call it? Lufisto versus Kid Bandit. Billy Dixon versus Sawyer Wreck. Dark Sheik will face Steph Delander. Bussy will face Sunny Kiss and Pimpinella Escarlata. And Paro will face Karam. Say that 3 times fast. Good Lord.
Pimpinella Escarlata.
From Lucha Underground.
Well, I can't wait to meet him or her. Her?
Him, I think.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong.
Anyway, wow. That's a lot.
Next month is going to be very busy when it comes to previewing, talking about shows that have happened.
3 countries. That's fucking impressive, man.
I know. That's crazy. 3 countries in what? Like 3 weeks?
Yeah, some sort of crazy number.
And a lot of the same talent on all those shows too, which is crazy.
I mean, they've just been working their asses off. I mean, we've seen it. This is our 7th episode, and the number of matches and shows that we've covered is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and they just keep working. I'm like, it's so impressive, and they just do it, and they put on the show. They put on like the best live damn experience that you've ever had in your life. You know, I don't know.
If you learn nothing else from this here podcast that we're doing, it's that go see them live.
Do it. Just do it.
You will not regret it.
I mean, there's
not
no
at
way. So I will point out that our friends at the GCW Plant podcast, they cover the shows in depth. So especially those, they just dropped their reviews for all 3 of those Japanese shows. So if you want, we didn't really cover them well. So if you want a deep dive on the Japanese stuff and all the other shows, GCW Plant guys are great. And they love it just as much as we do. And they're marks like we are. So they're super cool. And do you have any plans for anything coming up as far as a live show?
I don't know if they have anything coming around here recently. I mean, I just did that show in Hartford early. I think that was July. Who can remember? But so I mean, if they come back, I mean, I'll probably go. I mean, I'm kind of hopeful. Look, the drive to Hartford sucks. I'm just gonna say it's only 2 hours, but it's a long fucking 2 hours. Let me tell you, it's trees and a two lane highway. It's rough. But
what's the drive to Atlantic City like?
For me, probably around 4.5, 5-ish. That is a thing that may happen next year.
Oh, sweet.
And look, we're going to WrestleMania.
Yeah, we are.
We're assuming there's going to be a GCW show there.
Yep.
So there's a strong chance that'll be the next one I go to.
Yeah, sweet.
Assuming they don't come around here again this year, but who knows? We'll see.
Hopefully they do.
I would hope so. I'd like to hope that they would, but we'll see. It was jamming in Hartford, so maybe they run there again.
Yeah. All right. What else do you want to promote?
Oh, well, we got the Extreme 3-Way Dance on this here feed where we cover the land of ECW. We're in the summer of 98, getting ready to cover Heatwave 98, which is a big show for ECW. So check that out when that drops. You can find me over on the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed with YouTube Roulette, where 5 of us chuckleheads pick matches on YouTube, watch them, talk over them, Mystery Science Theater 3000 style. Easy for me to say. And look, watching the matches is very loosely. It's not a scientific podcast by any stretch. And speaking of not scientific podcasts, Highway to the Impact Zone is a lot of the same format, except we watch TNA in that realm. So check all that out. Find me on Twitter at msouza1991.
All righty. Well, for wrestling, I got a podcast, a new one. It's called Linking Up Luchas, where we are going through Lucha Underground. It's been very awesome. Diving into a brand new promotion for me. There's 2 episodes of that pod out right now. 3rd coming out pretty soon, I think. So catch up with that one. It's really good. The return of TNA Never Dies right here on the North South as well. That'll be part of No Holds Barred now. So enjoy the madness with TNA Never Dies. And as far as the Jenny position on Wednesdays, I got some cool shows happening. I got Talking Docs with our friend Logan and our friend Cowboy Roger. Also got the end of Pluto. I've decided to let Pluto go. So that last episode with a very special guest should be available very soon. So sad and happy about that at the same time. And you can find me on Twitter at Jenny Position. And us together, we're at Gcdub on podcast, Gcdub podcast.
I think it's just that Gcdub. I think we should probably know this.
We probably should. It's fine. It's fine. Just you'll find it. Thanks for listening and watching. See you next time.